morning, Georgia. Breaking news. The Cherokee Nation versus Georgia's case verdict has been revealed. After years of Georgia attempting to remove the Native people from the territory, the case has finally been brought to light. Here's Rachel Carlino with the details.
Hi, Isabel. The feelings at the courthouse are very tense. In the past, Georgia has encouraged the people to move in accordance with the agreements with the federal government in 1802. Congress has even responded by appropriating $30,000 to extinguish Cherokee title to land in Georgia and had even tried to bribe the tribe's leaders. Additionally, a series of laws passed by Georgia state legislature on December 20, 1828, stripped the Cherokee people of many of their rights. However, the Cherokee people claim that Georgian laws violated their rights and conditions listed in the previous treaty. Here's William Ripp with the Attorney General representing the Cherokee people. Hi, William, and thank you for being here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
William, what is the main case that Georgia is advocating against the Cherokee people?
Georgia primarily claimed that the Cherokee people are domestic dependent nation and lack the ability to sue as a foreign nation. According to Article 3 of the Constitution, the defendants feel that the Cherokees rely on the United States as well as Georgia. Even though the Native people already claim sovereignty as an independent nation, they refuse to recognize the people as their own. It has infuriated and frustrated the Cherokee people, as well as me.
Thank you, William. Here's the verdict. Chief Justice John Marshall has determined that they did not have the jurisdiction to overrule Georgia's laws and have ruled in favor of Georgia. The court in Marshall felt that the natives were merely a dependent nation relying on the security of the United States.
Hi, welcome to Good Morning, Georgia. We have the latest news about the rising tensions between the Cherokee Nation and Georgian government. Our story tonight begins with the selfless deeds of Samuel Worchester, a missionary who has embraced the Cherokee.
In 1827, Samuel Worchester packed up all his belongings and moved to New Echota, Georgia, the Cherokee capital. As a minister, Worchester was sent by the American Board of Commissioners for Foreign Missions to interact with the Cherokee Nation. Worchester completed the customary duties of a minister, but as his relationship with Cherokee rulers strengthened, he educated the leaders about their legal rights. As the government of Georgia found out that Worcester and other missionaries were helping stir up political resistance among the natives, it decreed that all missionaries vacate Echota by March 1, 1831. Despite the warning, Worcester did not leave and was arrested twice. However, after being arrested twice, Worcester moved to the Brainerd Mission, only having to return to Echota after receiving the news that his daughter had died. This time, the authorities sentenced him to 4 years of hard labor in prison.
Today, the case Worcester versus Georgia is being held, and we have our news crew right in the heart of the action in John Marshall's courtroom to give you the breaking news.
In the court case of Worcester versus Georgia, the court has found that the Cherokee Nation is a distinct, independent political community retaining their own natural rights, and that they have the jurisdiction to ignore Georgia's restrictions.
You have it. The Cherokee Nation has been given the right to remain in their territory in Georgia. Hopefully, Worcester, who is in jail, will be receiving good news as well. Good night, Georgia.
Good morning, Georgia. Unfortunately, today does not seem like a good morning for the Cherokee Nation. To our shock, it has been reported that the Cherokee people have been seen packing up all their belongings and moving off their land. Not too long ago, we covered the Worcester versus Georgia case in our station, and Supreme Court Justice Marshall ruled in favor of the Cherokee. He stated that the Cherokee Nation was an independent and did not have to follow Georgia's laws. However, the latest news is that Georgia, along with President Jackson, have ignored Marshall's ruling and have demanded to exile the Indians in a Indian Removal Act. Today, we have with us Jessica Hong, a specialist in the Cherokee crisis. Please, Jessica, tell us what you know.
Good morning, Isabel. Despite John Marshall's positive ruling in the Worcester versus Georgia case in favor of the Cherokees, the President of the United States has continued animosity toward the Native people of America. In fact, Jackson himself said this in his 6th annual message to Congress on December 1st, 1834.
I regret that the Cherokees east of the Mississippi have not yet determined as a community to remove. How long the personal causes which have heretofore retarded that ultimately inevitable measure will continue to operate, I am unable to conjecture. It is certain, however, that delay will bring with it accumulated evils, which will render their condition more and more unpleasant. The experience of every year adds to the conviction that emigration, and that alone, can preserve from destruction the remnant of the tribes yet living amongst us.
This itself illustrates Jackson's prejudice against the Cherokee people. It is completely unfair that he has decided to overrule the Supreme Court's decision and enforce the removal of the Indians regardless. As a nation that promotes equality and freedom, the people should stand up and defend our neighbor Indians against this abominable act.
Thank you, Jessica, for joining us today. And thank you, Nation, for watching Good Morning, Georgia. To end today's show, we are paying homage to the Cherokee Nation through a short video recapping the events that led up to this terrible tragedy. Goodbye.
In the 1831 trial of the Cherokee Nation versus Georgia, Marshall ruled in favor of Georgia because the Cherokees were not considered an independent foreign nation and did not have the right to overrule Georgia's laws. In the 1832 case of Worchester versus Georgia, this time Marshall ruled in favor of the Cherokees since they were an independent nation with its own legislature. However, Marshall could not enforce his ruling since Georgia and President Andrew Jackson were uncooperative. The lack of enforcement eventually led to the Trail of Tears from 1838 to 1839.